Hello, people of Earth. It's your pal, the Orbital Outcast, Rad Gnarly, coming your way with another low-key broadcast. Today we're gearing up for the 5th Trios Tournament of Terror in Fire Pro Wrestling World. First, I'd like to say hello to everyone in chat or checking us out on VOD. No matter where or when you happen to be in this great big old world of ours, we're happy to have you with us, and we hope that it finds you well. Before we even get to the Trios Tournament of Terror, we do in fact have another Night of Champions! So let's get to the GWA Event Center and talk about tonight's major matchups. As we said, we got 7 title fights. Last time I presented this, I just launched it straight out of the event center, or out of these title shot graphics. But we're just going to preview them real quick, and then we'll get to the old match list in Fire Pro. All right, but let me tell you, coming up first, we have Eddie Guerrero defending their newly won NXT Championship against Boa in from that promotion. And then following that, we got some more friendly belts on the line as the AEW Tag Team Championships are going to be up for grabs. Darby Allin of the GWA and QT Marshall, the current champions, taking on Evil Uno and Preston Vance of the Dark Order. Following that, the GWA Legends Junior Championship is going to be on the line as Hayabusa is taking on the debuting Hiromu Takahashi. Takahashi, a new acquisition for the GWA. This is going to be their debut, and what better way to do it than put him in there with Hayabusa, the Legends Junior title on the line. Following that, the WWE Championship up for grabs. This match may look familiar to the really real world, as Edge is going to be taking on Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, GWA roster member, current WWE champion. Edge is going to be looking to take that belt back to his home promotion. And then it is a trio of main events. 3 GWA titles up for grabs, starting with the Tag Team Championships. The Street Profits going to be taking on the combination of CM Punk and Jon Moxley. Those two have been training under Mitsuharu Misawa for a number of months, and finally earning themselves a tag title shot against the Street Profits, seemingly unstoppable if Montez Ford can hit that frog splash. And then a pair of Hall of Famers. This should be a very interesting matchup. The Hall of Fame Championship on the line. The new champion, Bret Hart, taking on Senor Sting! That's right, Sting versus Bret Hart for the Hall of Fame Championship. We've sort of changed our version of Sting. Let me give you a little behind the scenes. I have an item in my OBS currently called Sting Hairline, because for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the face or the actual hair that they put on the Sting character, but there is a transparent bit between their forehead and the head of hair. So I've had to add an element to this scene, because otherwise, boink, see, if you look at Sting's forehead, it is now transparent, because I deactivated my Sting hairline corrector, boink. So now we sort of put that back to try to fill it in a little bit. Anyway, so just be forewarned, when we actually play that match, it's going to look weird, because there's going to be an empty space between his forehead and his hairline. So there's going to be like canvas, I guess, or whatever. And it just means he's got wrestling on the brain, does Sting. And then in our big main event, the GWA World title on the line, new champion Kazuchika Okada against one of our earliest champions, Kenta Kobashi. That's right, Kazuchika Okada, looking to cement his legacy as greatest GWA World Champion ever by systematically defeating all former World Champions still with the company. And that begins with Kenta Kobashi. So a bold, challenge laid down by our champion, answered by Kenta Kobashi, because who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? And then, of course, when we come back from that's our September event, and when we come back for our second event of the afternoon, it is in fact time for the 5th Trios Tournament of Terror. Now, I haven't determined match listings. I haven't I sort of penciled in some trios. We'll see if we can pull them off. Beyond that, the only ones I know for sure are defending champions Kobashi, Yohei, and Suzuki. Kobashi could be going into the Trios Tournament of Terror this year as the world champion already. We've never had that before. I don't think the world champion has ever participated the active world champion, I don't think has ever participated in the Trios Tournament of Terror, but that could happen today, later this afternoon. But first and foremost, let's go ahead and get to our September Year 8 show, a Night of Champions. As we said, 7 title fights in a row, beginning with the NXT title up for grabs. Eddie Guerrero defending the belt against Boa of NXT. I gotta tell you, I don't know anything about Boa. We'll see if Eddie Guerrero can figure it out and defend that strap. I believe this show is taking place in Mexico, and we are in the largest arena there, 18,000 strong. We're trying to boost our international reputation. We present Night of Champions, and there you hear the whistle signaled for by Senior Sasquatch, the senior referee here, as you stroll down the gnarly wrestling aisle. Boa in from NXT, that is the gentleman in the red, white, and gold attire. The defending NXT champion, Latino Heat, Eddie Guerrero. In long black, gold, and blue trunks. Well, tights, I suppose, not trunks. Tights, gold and black boots. For the leader of the Heat business here in the GWA and current NXT champion. No stranger to gold is Eddie Guerrero throughout their GWA career. Quite successful. Not unlike that successful rake of the eyes. So, Boa in there for a no count. As we said, Boa representing NXT. One of the handful of Chinese-born professional wrestlers currently employed here in North America on a full-time basis. I think that's like a real-life stat. I'm not just trying to like make up nonsense. Stiff kick in midsection from Boa, who, as I said, I'm not intimately familiar with. He's looking to take the NXT Championship back to NXT. Let's see how he holds up against the wily veteran Eddie Guerrero, working Boa to the center of the ring with those European uppercuts. Another rake of the eyes. Trying to keep the bigger man off his game. Guerrero, of course, famous for those 3 amigos, the triple suplex. 3 rolling vertical suplexes. Also the frog splash. Anytime anyone, anywhere does a frog splash, they have to point to the heavens and thank Eddie Guerrero for the privilege. Seems to be an unwritten rule in professional wrestling these days. Running stomp off the ropes. Oh, here we go. There's the 3 amigos we were talking about at the 5-minute mark here. Eddie starting to get fired up. Latino Heat warming up here. Duck at the clothesline. Nice arm drag. Sends him closer to those turnbuckles. Oh, low drop kick on the bigger man. Guerrero trying to systematically take out Boa and neutralize the height advantage. Impressive strength on that exploder suplex into a 2. Nope, just a 2 count there. Polite applause from the crowd. Oh, Kawada style kicks from Boa trying to get back in this thing. See a lot of leg-based strikes out of Boa thus far. Reversal off the ropes. Eddie once again goes low, trying to kick that knee backwards. Huge clothesline as a follow-up. Eddie Guerrero firmly in command here, thinking frog splash and lands it. 2 and... No, Boa kicks out at 2.9. As representative of NXT's got to get something going, and it might start with those vicious kicks to the side of the jaw. Eddie able to duck the follow-up clothesline. Big boot to the midsection now. Boa's been most successful, but he's been employing those kicks. Once again work the midsection of Guerrero, steal the champion's oxygen. Tilt-a-whirl into the slam. Guerrero going back up for a second frog splash. 1, 2, and 3. Guerrero with a successful defense of the NXT Championship there. The company's going to have to bring somebody a little tougher if they want to bring the belt back home, says Eddie Guerrero. Nicely done. Getting the crowd involved at the end. All right. Sure. A solid opener. Nothing earth-shattering. Boa didn't put up quite the fight we were hoping for. out of, quite frankly, any competitor for a major championship on a show like this, but it could be nerves. It was Boa's first time in a GWA ring. They've probably not performed in front of a crowd this size before. They were mildly successful with their kicks. Eddie Guerrero, though, weathering the storm and defending the NXT Championship. Okay. Our next match is for the AEW Tag Team Championship. Darby Allin of the GWA is one half the current title holders with QT Marshall. Interesting combination there. Darby and QT are going to be taking on a more practiced team in Evil Uno and Preston Vance of the Dark Order. Let's get down to the ring for an AEW Tag Team Championship contest. What? Mad himself out the way. We can give way to senior official Mr. Bigfoot. Signaling for the whistle, and we are underway. Preston Vance, number 10 of the Dark Order. White jeans and mask. And they're with Darby Allin in the dark jean shorts and half-painted face. Darby's got to put in a lot of speed and athleticism to counter the power of Preston Vance so far. Nicely done there by Allin. So far, so good. Oh, nice body slam there by Darby Allin. Showing a little power in his own right. And just because he may be smaller than his opponent, so he can't perform. Nicely done. Your wide array of wrestling moves to them. Preston move with a stiff kick to the midsection drops Darby momentarily. As you can see, Preston working Darby back into the corner of himself and Evil Uno. And another body slam, Darby Allin. Coming out fast and furious with these slams here. Trying to out-muscle Preston Vance. I don't know how well that's going to work out for him as they started exchanging forearms. Preston Vance gains the advantage, able to tag in Evil Uno for the first time. And likewise, Darby Allin makes a tag to Tag Team Championship partner QT Marshall. Gracing the GWA ring for the first time in there against Evil Uno, also making their GWA debut today. As well, obviously, as Preston Vance, Evil Uno's partner. Uno and QT going back and forth. Uno making short work of QT there. Send off the ropes. Marshall with a nice counter.
5 minutes gone.
5-minute mark. The challenger is successfully managing to lure both of the champions into their corner. Nice suplex there by Uno. Quick tag out to Preston Vance, trying to press this advantage. Oh my gosh! Thought we was thinking Magic Killer. Uno turned around into a stunner there. Devastating tag team offense from the Dark Order. Marshall's got a bit of a mountain to climb here. Preston Vance has got the power, but kind of lacks the experience to sort of put it to his best use. That'll come with time. You can see he almost allowed QT Marshall to make a tag there momentarily. Before, hang on, QT Marshall thinking superplex on the big man. Nicely done. And one half of the AEW Tag Team Champions. Uno in to break the pin attempt up at 2. Leveling Marshall with an enziguri. And now Uno's in legally. Lariat combination there. Backdrop suplex from Uno. Positioning QT Marshall, center of the ring. Flips him up.
1, 2.
Into a sit out, hooks the leg. Darby Allin there to break it up. Preston Vance stayed on the apron. Nice spine buster there by Uno. Marshall with a body slam gets the time and space he needs to tag Darby Allin in legally. Darby Allin and Evil Uno, your illegal combatants, facing each other in the GWA ring for the first time here. Off the ropes. Darby Allin simply ducks the punch of Evil Uno there. Just sprawls out to get rid of it, or to get away from it. Uno now tagging back to the powerhouse of the combination, and there once again is that devastating tag team maneuver. Center of the ring this time. The 10-minute mark. Nice follow-up suplex there by Vance. Darby powers back to his feet first, though. Darby Allin got a chip on his shoulder for sure. Got something to prove here against the more powerful Vance. Look for him to go back with those body slams over and over if he can help it. Ultimately, looking to hit that coffin drop off the top. Just throwing himself in harm's way is Darby Allin. It's kind of his wrestling style. Delayed vertical here from Preston Vance. Shades with a British Bulldog. Nicely done. Number 10 of the Dark Order. Going to knock off Darby Allin and QT for the Tag Team Championships. Nice counter into the powerbomb. Two. QT Marshall there to save the straps for him and his little buddy, Darby Allin. Oh, huge end-over-end clothesline. Two of them in a row there from Vance as he tags in Evil Uno to try to finish him off here. Big spine buster from Uno. Darby's in a bad way. Oh, it's a body slam off. Uno spills to the floor, but unfortunately QT Marshall elects to drop off the apron. Darby can't make the tag. Some poor teamwork there from your tag team champions. Nice leg lariat off the ropes from Uno. Darby able to scramble to the corner, however. Here comes QT Marshall. In there with the evil one. Big clothesline in the corner. Bad news for QT Marshall. Wrong part of town. Swanton bomb by Evil Uno. That's a lot of weight coming down on you. More than the Jeff Hardy. Another tag for the challengers as in comes Preston Vance. QT Marshall nonplussed. Nice snap suplex there. Hey, PD14, nice to see you. Hope you're having a nice afternoon. Thanks for joining us. We're in the middle of an AEW Tag Team Championship contest. QT Marshall and Darby Allin, your champions. Darby Allin on the GWA roster. Against, from the AEW, the Dark Order, represented by Preston Vance, who just spills to the outside. And there you see his partner, Evil Uno, coming out to the floor to help him out. No countouts or disqualifications outside the GWA ring. Anything goes until the legal combatants get back in there. Senior official here, Mr. Bigfoot, unable to do anything until, like we said, legal fighters get back into the ring, and this thing, oh, turns back into a tag team contest. Death Valley driver to Darby Allin on the floor. And only one of the two Dark Order members successful with their suplexes there. Can I help you with the game? What exactly do you need assistance with? If I'm able to, sure. Just shout out your question in the chat there and see what's up. Missions, like the tutorial missions? There aren't necessarily missions per se, other than sort of learning the ropes. Is there a particular technique you're having trouble with? There's the coffin drop from Darby Allin! Square into the chest of Evil Uno, drags him over to the cover, and that will do it! Darby Allin and QT Marshall able to retain over the Dark Order. Thanks to the coffin drop from Darby Allin. Crowd not as into it as they normally are. Oh, there's one where you have to hit at least a certain percentage in the tutorials, right? I think you have to hit a minimum of 70. Like, you just have to, you can't completely dominate, but you got 75 and it wouldn't let you. Oh, jeez. I don't know how to aim for exactly 70, but I guess you kind of like let, you know, you just have to sort of feel it out. That's a bummer. But only a B rating. Yeah, I guess they want to rather specifically get you in that sweet spot. Honestly, if they just want 70, the easiest way to do that is to just try to do squash matches. Like just wipe the floor with your opponent, because you'll do around 65 to 70 just with the straight squash match. If you just sort of like go through your whole move list against an opponent and then pin him with your finisher, you'll probably hit it around then. Oh yeah? Okay. Well, I'd say just keep at it. I think that's because it's been years, obviously, since I did the tutorial missions, but I think that was a strategy I employed, where I just lucked out and only had to do it a couple of times, just kind of like mop the floor with the opponent. Unfortunately, the difficulty curve in this game, like once you figure out the timing of it, even at CPU level 10, unless you're futzing with the speed of the game, like 150% or something like that, it's not the most difficult thing in the world. Alright. Yeah, it is a bit of a bummer, but ultimately I don't think, like, completing the tutorials matters for anything other than achievements. I'm not saying that that's not valid or whatever, but it's not going to, like, hurt you in the game or anything like that. Overall. Okay. Oh, that was defended. 84%, not our best. Also half distracted filling in my match listing, my little text file here. Oh, it's the last trophy? Dang! Yeah, well then, in that case, I would say just kind of stick with it and just keep running, like, keep hitting those squash matches. Eventually you'll get there. It might take a few tries. But don't let it prevent you from enjoying other aspects of the game. Just sort of like poke at it every once in a while. The only the only trophies I'm missing from this sucker are the online. So I don't think I've ever played in the in-game online stuff. Pro tip, by the way, if you're playing this on Steam, the Steam whatever their weird technology is that allows you to play like normally couch co-op games together, like co-op with your friends. Remote play, I think, is something like that. Remote play with friends, perhaps. It'll allow you to do more online options than the built-in online components of Fire Pro Wrestling World. Like, you can do any match type, any number of people, if you do the remote play with friends option on Steam, as opposed to in the game of Fire Pro Wrestling World, where you're limited to tag teams at most. So, a little something a friend and I figured out. Anywho, let's get back to our show. Clam! Title defense. Kind of out of nowhere there by Darby Allin. Leveling Evil Uno with that coffin drop. Bit of a slow start. Normally we have like a 5-star banger in the opening couple of matches. Could happen in this next contest. As Night of Champions rolls on, the GWA Legends Junior Champion Hayabusa putting the belt on the line against a newcomer to the GWA, Hiromu Takahashi, making their debut. Let's get down to the ring. Let me save it again if I hadn't already. Down to the ring for this, which should be a spirited contest. Hey, no problem. Thanks for asking. I hope you're able to hit that 70 even Steven in only a handful of attempts at most. All right, let me get myself out of the way and let's get on down to the ring for Hayabusa versus the debuting Time Bomb, Hiromu Takahashi. Wha! Pull myself out of the way as we give way to senior official Mr. Bigfoot, signaling for the whistle here. This lovely Mexican venue with 18,000 plus strong. Here to witness Hayabusa in the black and gold mask and I don't want to call them harem pants. Sultan pants. That's just as bad, whatever. Hammer pants. There we go. Against Hiromu Takahashi in a rather colorful outfit. Let's just say he's the one in the furry boots. You're having trouble? Yeah, I think it wants you to get exactly 70. So that might be a little difficult. And like I said, just give it a couple tries. But it should happen for you fairly quickly. Like I said, most squash matches are like 65 to 70, somewhere in there. So maybe let them get a little bit of offense in or something like that. Yeah, that's oddly specific. I've had this game since early access, and I don't know if I had to hit 70 exactly or just get higher than 70. You know what I mean? They may have changed it since. I don't know. See Takahashi with that nice strike battle there. Trying to wake up champion Hayabusa. Can't imagine these two. Oh! Into that flip pile driver. Hooks the leg, but only a 1 count, so really in the matchup. Takahashi's moveset might be described as reckless by some. Certainly leaves him more prone to injury than others. Very high impact style for the junior heavyweight. And they're against Hayabusa, and the same can be said of Hayabusa. Because aerial offense, nice neck breaker there from the Legends Junior champion. And to defend against the debuting Time Bomb Hiromu Takahashi. Another flip pile driver from the Time Bomb. Hooks the leg deep. 1, 2, and Hayabusa able to once again kick out. Hiromu's starting to overwhelm the champion a little bit here. Hayabusa looking to get back into this thing with another high impact move of his own. As we said, a first-time matchup here, and we couldn't be happier to be bringing it to you as you stroll down the gnarly wrestling aisle. That's right, the GWA, the only wrestling promotion with 3 silent letters as its acronym. As Takahashi sent into the corner, nice spin kick, nowhere for Hiromu to go, all impact there. Out of Hayabusa. Oh, Hiromu responding though, forearm in the corner, follows up with a belly-to-belly. Now positioning the Legends Junior champ center of the ring. Super kick sends him down. Into the corner once again. Another stiff forearm shot. Another super kick. Head and neck. Oh, diving double knees off the top for Hiromu. Hayabusa in a big bad way here. Nice roll up counter though from the champ. Just gets a 1 count. Excellent wrestling instincts there for Hayabusa. But here comes the challenger over the top to the floor. No count out, no DQ, anything goes out here. Oh, and he gets spiked with that version of the Emerald Frozen there from Takahashi. Shades of Mitsuharu Misawa. Currently on loan to a North American promotion. We'll see the former GWA champion perhaps next month in the Trios Tournament of Terror. Champion and challenger fight their way back into the ring. Hayabusa trying to press his advantage here. Going to work on the back of Takahashi. There's a number of aerial maneuvers he can finish his opponents off with. The shooting star press, the Phoenix Splash among them. Also uses, oh god, Cradle Tombstone by Hayabusa, but elects to pick Takahashi right back up. Takahashi quickly to the top. Double knees to the midsection of Hayabusa once again. Hayabusa up top. There's that shooting star. Rolls him into the cover. 1, 2, and no. Takahashi out at 2. Champion and challenger going back and forth here. Super kick from Takahashi settles that strike battle. Rolls him into the cover. Almost wins the championship in his debut. Time Bomb. 1, 2. No, Hayabusa kicks out. Tiger driver by the champion. Too close to the ropes. Rolls through into the neck lock. Again, too close to the ropes. Hayabusa gets spiked with another flip pile driver. 1, 2. Champion out at 2. Hayabusa's got to be thinking Falcon Arrow as well. No. Takahashi, another set of double knees to the midsection of the Legends Junior champ. Off the ropes comes Hayabusa. Beautiful extension on that drop kick to the back of the head of Takahashi. Another flip pile driver. 1, 2, 3. Hiromu Takahashi with the 4th flip pile driver of the matchup claims the Legends Junior title in his first match ever. At least in the GWA. Oh, there it is. There it is. New Legends Junior champ. What a debut. Crowd got behind it. Now we're talking. Hot diggity dang. All right, let me just update my list of champions real quick. Thus ends Hayabusa's first reign as Legends Junior Champion. He was the 13th champion in our company's history. And though begins the reign of Hiromu Takahashi. His first reign as Legends Junior Champ, the 14th in the company's histoire. Alright. Lost my place in my text file. Got it back! Got it back! Boom! New champion crowned. That's what the Night of Champions is all about. The opportunity for new champions. And someone who would like to be crowned a new champion is Edge, who's in from the WWE trying to take the WWE Championship back to his home promotion from GWA roster member, The Architect, Seth Rollins. This match should look a little familiar to those that have been watching wrestling on TV for the past 4-6 months. I don't know, didn't they have a WrestleMania thing? Didn't they have a feud that lasted essentially forever? It continues here in video game form. Right about meow. Let's see how this shakes out. As senior official Mr. Bigfoot calling for the whistle, and we are underway. The Rated R Superstar Edge in the long red tights, the Architect, and WWE Champion Seth Rollins in the long black tights with the red trim. As we said, Edge is here to try to win the WWE title and take it home. Seth Rollins winning the belt. And then champion Jimmy Uso in a GWA versus WWE Promotional War pay-per-view extravaganza.
Give up.
See Edge trying to slow things down with a nice hammerlock there. Follows it up with the Enzui Latiato. Looks like it's a hammerlock into a back switch, so just sort of one distinct maneuver. Jake Roberts style DDT there from Edge. Saw him slap the shoulder on the way down. That was kind of Jake's way of saying, sorry buddy, your time is over. On the way to the 3. Like, thanks for coming out, pat on the shoulder on the way to getting your head spiked into the canvas. Nice backdrop suplex out of the Rated R Superstar. See a lot of focus in the eyes of both champion and challenger here. A lot of pride on the line. No way Seth Rollins wants to relinquish the WWE Championship so early in his reign, and no way does Edge want to see a non-WWE wrestler hold their championship hostage. They can't. Nice, another DDT there from Edge into the cover. Just a 1 count. The richest prize in World Wrestling Entertainment, no longer able to be defended on their own shows as long as Seth Rollins is champion. They have to come to the GWA.
5 minutes gone.
Try to get the belt back, and Edge with a series of DDTs in this matchup at this point. Putting work in on the head and neck. Seth Rollins early in this matchup. Keep an eye on that. As this championship contest progresses, Seth Rollins will be looking for perhaps the pedigree or the stomp or his superplex into a Falcon Arrow. Edge has a number of spear variations. Perhaps might opt to try to tap Seth Rollins out with the Educator at one point. See how things can go. There's the stomp from Seth Rollins into the cover. 2, and Edge barely escapes. Almost knocked out cold was Edge there. He's a second to regroup, but Seth Rollins trying to press the advantage and put the challenger down sooner rather than later here. See how Edge responds. Seth Rollins, nice leg lariat, but he couldn't follow up. Oh, big spear off the ropes from Edge. Hooks the leg deep. 2. Now it's Rollins' turn to barely escape. Another DDT. Edge right back to work on the head and neck. And now Impaler style. Shades of Gangrel by Edge. Rollins surveying the situation, going up top for a frog splash. Thank you, Eddie. So Eddie Guerrero early on. Defend his belt with a frog splash. We'll see Montez Ford of the Street Profits likely hit one in his championship contest later today. Another stomp to the head of Edge. Face first into the canvas. And pinned! Just like that, Seth Rollins putting the old dog down in less than 10 minutes. To be honest, that thing started out going Edge's way, and then all of a sudden, bing, bang, boom. And still, your WWE champion, Seth Rollins, in a somewhat disappointing contest. That thing never sort of got out of second gear. Alrighty. Expectations are apparently quite low, or they're being met quite lowly by our athletes today. Normally we're putting on low to mid 90s matches. The only one to do that so far, Takahashi Hayabusa. But that's alright, we got 3 more title fights on the way, and so long as we keep an average card rating above 80, we're okay. That means crowd satisfaction, thumbs up. Now the GWA titles, the major GWA titles are on the line, beginning with the Tag Team Championships. The champions, the 3-time champions, currently in their 3rd reign, the Street Profits, putting the belts on the line against the tag team combination of CM Punk and Jon Moxley. Now, Punk and Moxley have been training under former GWA World Champion Mitsuharu Misawa for a number of months. Punk himself, by the way, also a former GWA World Champion, looking to get back on top of the mountain. And that might start with a tag team title reign with Jon Moxley if they can knock off the Street Profits. Coming up next. Hey-ya! Street Profits, as we said, 3-time champs. Punk and Moxley looking to claim their first title. Starting off with Punk and Montez Ford in the ring as Mr. Bigfoot signals for the whistle. Punk backed up into the champion's corner early here. Getting fed some knees. Responds with some kicks. Nice clothesline there for Montez Ford. Quick cover attempt gets a no count. Perhaps a message just being sent there by the championship squad. How little they regard CM Punk's chances, going for a pin attempt in the opening minute of the contest. As we said, CM Punk, former world champion here in the GWA, won his title over Bret Hart in a title tournament to crown what was then a vacated champion after Stone Cold Steve Austin retired as world champ. CM Punk winning that tournament. His title reign did not last very long, however. Now looking to get back on top of the mountain. Looking to add the GWA Tag Team titles to his resume. Jon Moxley looking for his first taste of gold here, strolling down the gnarly wrestling aisle. And as we said, Angelo Dawkins currently in the ring and Montez Ford on the apron of the Street Profits, 3-time GWA Tag Team champions. The most successful tag team in our company's history. And 9 times out of 10, they win those matches via Montez Ford Frog Splash. Keep your eye out for that. As this matchup continues, nice chops there. Look to be aiming for the windpipe was Jon Moxley. Angelo Dawkins has enough, and in comes Montez Ford, as we spoke about, the more, I don't want to say the more athletic, but certainly the more dexterous and faster of the 2 members of the Street Profits. Versus the power of an Angelo Dawkins. Currently in there with, as we said, former GWA World Champ CM Punk, the Second City Saint. When tete-a-tete with Montez Ford. Twisting him around into a swinging neckbreaker. There is Punk. Now the 2 exchanging blows toward the center of the ring. I'd like to thank our chief sponsor, Prince Pepperoni, for providing catering for today's event. Thank you also for the vegan options on menu that helped about half our roster feel less guilty about having pizza in the pre-show. And we saw that frog splash from Ford, but pin attempt was broken up. Now this action spilling out. Punk is legal, as is Montez Ford. We got a fight inside and outside of the ring. No countouts or DQs, so this will continue as such until Punk gets back inside. Then the ref is free to enforce the rules and get Moxley and Dawkins back to their respective aprons. Nice strike combination by Punk. Meanwhile, Montez Ford losing focus against Moxley in the ring. It's pulled over. Punk's grabbed a chair on the floor for any advantage against the champions. Oh God, go to sleep to Angelo Dawkins on the floor, and that lets Punk get back inside as Ford is chopped down to size by Moxley. Into the cover immediately. But it's broken up by Dawkins, who managed to climb back to the apron in time to make the save. Koji clutch now from Punk.
Give up. Give up.
Dawkins tries to make the save, but Ford's got to break it on his own as Moxley was playing defense. Quick tag out to Dawkins. They got CM Punk trapped in their corner under the tag team champions.
10 minutes gone.
As we pass the 10-minute mark of this tag team title match. Part of our triple main event. Dawkins able to counter and attempted a paradigm shift there. Able to counter it twice in a row and send Moxley to the floor with a second one. Down drops Punk. Over comes Montez Ford. Now both teams in the corner of the challengers. Anything goes on the floor. Big DDT to Dawkins. Champions and challengers being bodily thrown around here outside the ring. Oh, Punk turned inside out with that lariat. Nice punch combination to Moxley as well. Another vicious lariat to Punk. Tried the same to Moxley. Moxley able to counter. Dawkins putting work in on the face of CM Punk. Small package won't help you outside, Montez. All right, don't listen to me. All four men back in the ring. This thing's going to settle down into Jon Moxley versus Angelo Dawkins. Moxley representing the challengers, Dawkins the champions. Discus lariat able to dim the lights of Dawkins, enable both teams eventually to make the tags. CM Punk and Montez Ford, your legal combatants, as we approach the 15-minute mark. Nice combination there from Punk, who ascends to the top turnbuckle. Hail to the king. Swing and a miss from Punk. Montez Ford dropping him in the corner with a nice drop kick. Punk responds. Ford right back at him with those punches. Drops a diving fist and goes to sleep. Does Montez Ford. Punk looking for the pin here. Dawkins able to make the save. Back to the Koji clutch. Smartly done by Punk. Might get Montez to tap. Dawkins doesn't know how to help his partner there. Ford, fortunately, able to break the hold on his own as he goes up top. Frog splash to the back of Punk. Rolls him into the pin. 1, 2. Punk out at 2. Dawkins tagged back in legally now. Going back to work on the jaw of CM Punk. Shows he's got plenty left in the tank. Nice swinging neck breaker to CM Punk by Dawkins. Off the ropes comes Angelo, but Punk escapes. Tag out to Moxley. Off the ropes comes Dawkins. Big splash to the back of Moxley. Trying to drive the air out of the challenger. Moxley firing back. Scoop and a slam from Angelo Dawkins. A series of vicious punches there from one half of the tag team champions. Able to counter Moxley and once again send him to the floor, but in comes CM Punk. Able to neutralize Angelo Dawkins and give Moxley time to get back into the ring, and now Punk tagged back in legally. Nice double team powerbomb there from the challengers. Dawkins needs time to recover, and so in comes Montez Ford.
20 minutes gone.
Past the 20-minute mark here. Montez Ford having time to pose for the crowd, it seems. Nice twisting belly to belly by Punk into the Anaconda Vice. That time Dawkins knows how to help, and he saves the matchup and the tag team gold for himself and his partner. Small package, too close to the ropes. Ford going up top. Frog splash to the back of Punk once again. Rolls him into the pin, but that's going to be under the ropes. No. Two. Punk able to escape regardless. Thought that pin attempt was going to be broken. Punk able to escape. Oh. Vicious strike to the side of the jaw. We got tags on both sides. Luckily for Ford, he was in his own corner already. Moxley trying to further injure the jaw of Ford. Discus lariat to Angelo Dawkins, but he absorbs it and hits a huge drop kick. Oh, just a stiff shot dropping Moxley there, who goes low to try to get his bearings. Nice spine buster by Dawkins into the cover. 1, 2. Moxley just wriggles free. Dawkins off the ropes. Huge clothesline. Paradigm shift. Spiked on his head by Moxley. Into the cover. 1. Montez Ford able to break it up at 1. Spear by Dawkins into the cover. 1, 2, 3. A spear by Angelo Dawkins. 24 and a half minutes in. And the Street Profits retain. For once, and I do mean that, like, it's only happened a couple of times. Angelo Dawkins, the deciding factor, and not a Montez Ford frog splash. All right, in a barn burner, so says the crowd. Good stuff. Titles retain. Love it. All right, so we're building. So far, the most disappointing match was Rollins and Edge. Well, not to be outdone, however, it's time to see some old-timers go at it after this successful defense, as the GWA Hall of Fame Championship is on the line. Champion Bret Hart, who won the belt from Shawn Michaels in the main event of last month's second show, is putting the belt on the line against the leader of the Black Moon Fight Club, Sting. And just to warn you, we're using a new edit of Sting, and I didn't know it at the time that I downloaded it and put it in the game and stuff. There's a weird thing going on between his forehead and his actual hairline that is technically clear, and it doesn't matter in what order I put, like, his headpieces, or if I put something underneath. It's, unfortunately, you're going to see the mat through part of Sting's head, so try to bear that in mind. Quite literally, ha ha ha. As we watch Sting versus Bret Hart for the Hall of Fame Championship. Hoo-yah! As always, the senior official here, Mr. Bigfoot, calling for the bell. You can already see it. You'll kind of just mostly see, like, the canvas and the apron and stuff through Sting's head. Sting in the black and white bodysuit. Bret Hart in black and pink, both men using a variation of the same submission hold. Bret Hart calls his the sharpshooter. Sting calls his the Scorpion Deathlock. And the Hall of Fame Championship is on the line here. As I think the Sting that we've upgraded to is modern day Sting, more or less. As you can see the gray in his hair. See if he just no-sells half of Bret's offense. Nice jumping headbutt by the Hall of Fame champion, Bret Hart. Defeating Shawn Michaels via roll-up, I believe. Center of the ring. Pinned him 1, 2, 3. To win the Hall of Fame championship. That could not have sat well with the leader of the Heartbreakers, Shawn Michaels. His sole mission in the GWA seems to be have a better career than Bret Hart. His sole motivation. So far, he has had one. Being the former GWA World Champion, former Hall of Fame champion. Whereas Bret Hart's only gold in the GWA, well, technically, his only gold is this Hall of Fame championship and the being 1/3 of the Impact Wrestling Trios champions. Hang on. Nicely done. Point of the elbow up the second rope. Signature combination off the backbreaker there from Bret Hart. Sting not taking too kindly to it. Trying to slow him down with some chops in the corner.
5 minutes gone.
We passed the 5-minute mark. Sting, relative newcomer here to the GWA, the second leader of the Black Moon Fight Club, after previous leader and at the time Big Japan heavyweight champion Undertaker retired from the ring, taking that championship back to Big Japan and leaving the Black Moon Fight Club leaderless until Sting emerged from the shadows to join the GWA roster and take over that faction. We're going to take over here on Bret Hart with that pile driver. Sting with a sleeper now, trying to claim the Hall of Fame championship. A title that his predecessor, The Undertaker, quote-unquote, made famous here in the GWA with a rather impressive near year-long title reign earlier in our company's history. And there we see the sharpshooter applied by Bret Hart.
Give up.
Sting trying to fight his way free. Both men know this hold quite well, and you can see Sting able to power out. Right back to it goes Bret.
Give up. Give up. Give up.
Sting once again able to fight free. Bret going up top, diving elbow drop from the top. You don't see that out of Bret that often. Usually he goes for the second rope. Back to work on those legs and right back into the sharpshooter. Bret leaving nothing to chance here. Now that he knows he can lock it on, look for him to repeatedly apply that hold until Sting can have no more. As he now drags the contender, the challenger, into the center of the ring does Bret Hart. But Sting's able to counter. Sting trying to get a little distance here, get his breath back. Which is weird because you can see his mouth popping out of his face paint when he tries to breathe. Spike with a pile driver by Bret. 2 and 3, just like that. Bret Hart retains his championship. He saw Sting try to catch his breath and said, nuts to that. Pile driver, 1, 2, 3. Bret retains. That one's gonna be in the 70s. Yeah. In a game of can you quote-unquote top this, Sting and Bret Hart, more disappointing than Seth Rollins' Edge by 1%. What a weird mixed show we're putting on today. That's interesting. Normally it's just banger after banger after banger. Interesting. I might have to shop around for a different Sting. Not just because of his, translucent forehead or transparent forehead. All right, it's time for the main event of show number 1, and then we're going to book the Trios Tournament of Terror 5. 5th time we're doing this. As in our main event right now, we have Kazuchika Okada, the reigning and defending GWA World Champion after winning the belt from Minoru Suzuki. He's going to be taking on former World Champion Kenta Kobashi. Now, the idea here is that Kazuchika Okada is challenging all former World Champions still in the company to prove himself the greatest world champion of all time. He's starting with the early champion in our promotion's history, Kenta Kobashi, who had a rather lengthy reign before being dethroned by Mitsuharu Misawa. So I would suspect that if Okada's successful against Kobashi here, his next challenge will be to Misawa himself. Let's see if Okada can first get past Kenta Kobashi in this main event. Let's get down to the ring for the GWA World Title match. Hoi! Senior official Mr. Bigfoot signaling for the whistle, and we are underway with your main event. Champion Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker, in his gold shorts and boots. Kenta Kobashi, former champion and challenger here, in the black and purple trunks, and I just now realized that Kazuchika Okada's model must be set to large. which is strange because Kobashi is also like 6'3", as is Kazuchika Okada, so there's no way that Okada should be towering over him, but perhaps the championship belt makes you feel as though you're 8 feet tall. As the Rainmaker works challenger Kobashi back to the center of the ring. Kazuchika Okada will be looking to hit his namesake, that Rainmaker Ripcord clothesline. He also has the Code Red submission hold he uses to put people away. Kenta Kobashi has a handful of devastating maneuvers he has won and defended championships with. Not limited to, but including the Burning Lariat, the Orange Crush, the Vertical Brainbuster, or perhaps most devastating of all, the Burning Hammer. Say nothing of the Moonsault he has employed from time to time. Also, for giving top rope moves credit, then Kazuchika Okada also has a diving elbow off the top. That could potentially end this thing. Oh, high knee in the corner from Kobashi, and he lets Okada fall to his face. As we see Okada, the Rainmaker, trying to slow things down with a cravat. Kobashi able to get out of it quickly, but gets hit with a DDT and into the cover. 1 count. Oh, knife edge chop to the back of the neck by the challenger Kobashi. We just passed the 5-minute mark here. And a variation of an STF now out of champion Okada, center of the ring. Both these gentlemen trying to ratchet up the intensity and the violence with that strike battle. Suplex counter is going to send champion Okada to the floor. Kobashi follows him out. Both of these gentlemen, long tenured roster members of the GWA, very well aware of the lack of rules outside the ring. Nice delayed suplex there by Kobashi. Trying to keep this fight center of the ring, the only place he can win the belt. Cloverleaf now from Kobashi, working on the legs and back of Okada. Hoists him up and spikes him with a brainbuster. Drags him toward the center of the ring and into the pin. 1, 2, no! Okada barely rolls the shoulder, and I do mean barely. Trying to get his wits about him again. He grabs that cravat, trying to slow things down. Santon off the ropes. You can see Okada sucking wind. Oh, burning lariat by Kobashi. Sends him into the corner. Okada able to counter. Finally able to catch his breath is the GWA World Champion, who immediately gets spiked with another brainbuster. 1, 2. Okada again kicks just in the nick of time. And again, just trying to slow things down. Just trying to get any momentum against Kobashi here. Challenger looking real good in the opening 10 minutes. Okada trying to change his fortunes, sends the action to the floor. Nice fireman carry into the suplex by the champion.
10 minutes down.
Oh, burning lariat by Kobashi on the floor at the 10-minute mark. Okada able to hit that snap suplex, but Kobashi rolls through. Got him up again, a brainbuster on the floor! That is thin matting over concrete floor in this arena. Okada just got brainbustered on it. Dropped on the top of his head, retreating to the safety and sanctity of the ring. The only downside is that this is the only place you can register a 3 count or tap out.
1, 2.
Low angle German. Kobashi gets that shoulder up. I don't think Okada quite got that German how he would have wanted. See the match already taking its toll on champion Okada coming off the ropes. Big boot to the back of the head of Kobashi. Just beating the champion down to the canvas is the challenger. Tombstone, center of the ring. This is usually a precursor to the Rainmaker. Kobashi able to counter, another knife edge to the neck. Snap suplex again from the champion. Fights his way back to his feet, but he's dazed! Orange Crush! 1, 2! Okada escapes! What a lariat! Oh, and a big boot by Okada! Okada trying to track down the challenger. Another Orange Crush in the corner! 2! No! Okada again kicks out! Burning lariat by Kobashi! Rainmaker! 2 in a row to Kobashi by Okada! Pulls him into the cover! 1, 2, 3! What a title defense for Okada! Holy crap! Snatching victory from the jaws of defeat, and still your GWA World Heavyweight Champion. That was dope. Holy crap. I thought he was down and out like 4 or 5 times in that one. I was like, all right, looks like we got a new champ. Nope. Nope. Okada. 2 Rainmakers in a row. Retains. Wowzers. Look out, Misawa. All right, so overall, everyone's still here, and we got 87%. That's pretty good. Let's end this event and see what else happened. Yeah, we have a new Legends Junior champ. That was the only title change in front of just under 20K. Love it. Love it. Okay. Any news around the world? Oh, Xavier Woods is the WWE Junior champ. Cool. Adamus is the new AAA Mega Champion. Serena Deeb is the new ROH Junior champ. Nick Gage is the new GCW champion. I gotta write that down. So now we have the Ring of Honor Junior belt. Hang on. I did send people out there into the world. So Serena Deeb. Not that deep. GWA has ROH Junior. Okay. I see. Well, we're not going to solve that next month. We have a Trios Tournament of Terror to put on. All right, we made him at $1 million. CMLL scheduling a singles tournament. We're going to advance a month. So now we'll see if there's anything new in October. That was all the end of September's news. Now the October news, nothing. Okay. Save that quick. Let's do our normal training center maintenance. Let's do that right away. And then we're going to book ourselves a Trios Tournament of Terror. I don't even know the rule set, so we're going to just sort of figure it out. So I won't be hiring anybody. I'm going to take a quick look at last month's WWE, Ring of Honor, AEW, and NXT shows, because I think that's where I sent like everyone that wasn't working on the show that we just booked. That was a roster member of ours. I'm pretty sure I sent them to those promotions. So let me just do my normal business stuff. Like I got to talk to people about. People are going to want raises. CM Punk wants more money. See, people want raises. Consultation. Oh, first off, there should be somebody on the roster. I straight up need to change their salary. Like Hiromu? No, Hiromu's fine. Kylie? Oh, Kylie's doing all right. It's gonna be somebody. I can't remember exactly who. Got to be making at least $5,000. That's our league minimum. Let's call it. Just double checking here. Oh, is it Kyle? Oh, it's Kyle. There we go. Hey, Kyle. Getting up there. There you go. So I did that consultation. That was voluntary. CM Punk wants a raise, so tiny raises for those that are already making money. Let's get down to our personal advice. Taz wants more money. Sure. Over here. Taz. It's Taz! There we go. Anybody else? Scott Hall wants some more scratch? You got it. Resources. Have a little sit down, Scott. There's your raise. William Regal wants more money. Got to keep the talent happy. And if we can afford to do it, might as well. Tiniest raises we can do, though. Starting to lose trust in you because their salaries are too low, or is there another cause for their discontent? That's because I hire people that don't necessarily agree with my wrestling style, so they're not super jazzed to be here right out of the gate. So overall, it takes the morale down. Anywho, so merchandise-wise, we blew out most of the stuff. Good. Let us book things for our event. Okay, we're going to save again. Now, there is one... Oh yes, let me check the promotion stats. So let's check what WWE did. Alright, Kofi's team versus Bianca's team. Don't know if that had anything to do with us. Eric's team versus Liv Morgan's team. Again, might have had members of our squad on it. Don't know. But that was back-to-back 8-person tags to open up this WWE show. And then Alexa Bliss, Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels works for the GWA. So Alexa Bliss got knocked out by Shawn Michaels. That's a WWE match, WWE. AJ Styles, Hangman Adam Page up the card. AJ Styles working for WWE. Adam Page works for us in a 5-star banger. Oh my gosh. I'm just looking at the attendance and capacity. Look down there. They got 6,300 in a 40,000 seat arena. Why would you book that? Anyway. Mandy Rose Otis, MVP Mickey James, Xavier Woods, Cedric Alexander. So we sent them a bunch of people and they used maybe 2 of them. Thank you. Then we sent a bunch of people to AEW. Kazarian and Kong. Hobbs and Lee. There we go. Will Hobbs and Brody Lee. Or perhaps Keith Lee. I don't know. Those are our peeps. They beat Kazarian and Awesome Kong from AEW. Lindaman and Sadie Gibbs. Look at all these people that don't work there anymore. Scott Hall and Drew McIntyre. That's us again. GWA roster members. Pillman Jr., Nick Jackson. JD Drake Santana. That's them. Kevin Owens works for us. Emi Sakura works for us. Not putting on great matches, but beating their talent. Oh, had a better match here, but Eddie Kingston doesn't work for us. Ortiz and Seidel had a great one. Kevin Blackwood, that's another employee of ours, losing to Miro. Statlander beating Shug D. Statlander works for us. And then William Regal's team losing to Archer's team. That would have been representing us as well. They also booked a 40,000 seat arena. They filled it with that show. Interesting. Now, did we send anybody to NXT? Let's do a quick scan of these names. I don't think so, because that's all homegrown. Yeah, I don't think we sent anybody there. We definitely sent people to Ring of Honor. Because Britt Baker there was on a team against Jay Lethal and others. Unfortunately, we can't take a look at exactly who's on these teams. Flip Gordon got beaten by Taz. Taz works for us, obviously. Serena Deeb beating Vincent. That got us the Ring of Honor Junior Championship. Oh, all right. That was a 7-match card in front of 5,000. In your main event, you lost a belt. So that's how that happened. And then GCW, I think I actually sent some people here too. Bison Smith beating Ricochet and Page. Bison Smith works for us. Bobby Lashley works for us. Kyle O'Reilly works for us. Abyss works for us. So everybody underneath the main event, that was just GWA talent going over GCW talent. And then in your main event, Nick Gage beating Matt Tremont to become the new GCW champion. 421 in a 1,600 seat arena. That's a bummer. All right, so that's what happened with our other talent over the past month. I just keep saving anytime anything happens. I do need to invite some peeps because we have. I'm just going to do this openly. We have the All Japan Pro Wrestling Trios Championships in our possession. What I'm intending to do here is bring in 3 people from All Japan because we're going to put our All Japan Trios champions in as a trio. Where are your... Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Slim pickings, huh? Alright, let's do Jake Lee. What do you think? Jake Lee's coming in. So let's begin to build this tournament format here. This is going to be the All Japan contingent. Jake Lee. Let's save after everyone that we successfully invite. And who else shall we do? We've had Joe Doring before. We've had Yoshitatsu in before. Let's do a Dylan James. Alright. So far, that's Jake and Dylan. Coming in from All Japan. And I might do Rob Van Dam. Let's do Rob Van Dam. Because wouldn't you know it, he's got a frog splash. And Rob Van Dam. Alright, so that's our All Japan contingent. Jake Lee, Dylan James, and Rob Van Dam. Okay. So, we're going to book the event, and then we're going to go back and make merchandise, because I don't know what size tournaments we're doing. Not a cage, barbed wire. Let's check out the rules here real quick. Trios. I just need to check the rules. Explosion countdown. Okay, so we've definitely used this before. Everything blows up at 30 minutes. Let's do 45. Can't do elimination. Okay, one second. Let me back up. I'm trying to do an elimination tournament. Let's try Landmine. Rules. Again, can't be elimination. Weird. Cage can't be elimination either? I are disappointed. So they can only be elimination in a regular match. Well, we're gonna go do barbed wire submission only then. Match rules. Strong style, give up only, explosion countdown. We're gonna go 45 and 3 weapons. We're trying to keep it toward more, well, let's max it out, who cares. All the weapons, explosion still happens at the 45-minute mark. It's going to be a cluster no matter what, so no criticals though. Rough. Alright. That's one option. Let me go back though. I can't do elimination at all. Landmine. This is the one where they get thrown out? Okay, max weapons. Ooh, that was way faster. 125. Unlimited time, yeah. Hidden fall only, give up only. Give up only. Tornado, obviously. Yeah, lumberjack, because you get thrown outside and bad things happen. Rope break. The only thing that can save you is a rope break. Okay. Alright, I'm happy with that. Now, let's go ahead and put some titles on the line here. See, we have the All Japan belts in our possession and the GWA belts. We're doing the GWA ones, because that's what the whole point of this is. Boom! So that means the first team entered is Kobashi, Minoru Suzuki, and Yohei. The only way to guarantee entry is to win the previous one. Now, let's put them against some peeps. Let's see. Alright, here we go. House of Misery. Mike Awesome. Has and Hayabusa. We're not going to do Raven. He's sitting it out. Okay. Let's do another stable down here. We should do the yeah, keep business, because that'll get us Kyle O'Reilly in for the first time. That'll get us William Regal and Lashley or Eddie. Let's do Lashley. Let's leave the leaders out of it. Quote-unquote underlings. So I'm just trying to do the stable entries. Okay, so here is Squared Circle K. Yeah, we're going to put in the 3 members of the Squared Circle K. Oh, that's Okada, Lee, and Statlander are the All Japan Trios champions, though. So this is unprecedented that Okada, the Rainmaker, the world champion, is going to be the first world champion to try to win the Trios Tournament of Terror as part of a trio. Now, the Squared Circle K here are the most successful trio in the history of this tournament. They have won combinations of this stable have won, I think, 2 out of the 4, like half the field so far. So, got a pretty good chance. But this is where our guests come in, as they're going to be facing All Japan wrestlers trying to come in and stop them from winning. Also, we're going to hope that it sparks enough interest to book a match between, well, that's cool, let's do, between these two teams for the All Japan Trios Championships at some point in the GWA ring. So, what do we got down here? Let's do Heartbreakers. Black Moon not in it this year. Heartbreakers. Let's do Abyss. Scott Hall. Abyss. I like Abyss's white gear in this. And Flamita. Do you have anything in white gear? No, you do not. That close enough. And you guys will be taking on the makeshift team of babyfaces. Drew McIntyre. Kevin Owens. Yeah, Kevin Owens. And Mike Bailey. Let's do Mike Bailey. Mike Bailey. Okay. So Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, Mike Bailey. That's a makeshift team. Okay, I'm gonna move this place. Okay, let's go to Urban America. Can I do an arena? I can get 60,000. Can I do a large hall for $20? 37,000 people there, paying $20 a head. Not terrible for the Trios Tournament of Terror. I don't think we've had it. Let's do maybe rural. What's the largest we can do here? 2645 in a 30,000 seater. It's a medium hall there. 10K? I can do better than 10K. What's a medium here? 15 versus 40. 37. I'll do 37,000 in a 40,000 seater as opposed to 28,000 in a 30,000 seater. Anyway. Not quite sold out, but that's fine. Oh, I'm missing a team. No wonder it's not sold out. Hang on. I need another team that's not stable based. Hang on. From the heels. The heel side. Oh, I got it. All right. Emi Sakura. Britt Baker. And the new Ring of Honor Junior Champion, Serena Deeb. Yeah, go get him, ladies. Full house. There, now we got a proper tournament. Okay, well now can I do this? I can sell out the 65,000 seater at $10, so that's a $650,000 gate. But if I go down to this, I can do $800,000 and have less expenses. Okay, let's do this. 40,000 people are going to watch the Trios Tournament of Terror 5. Confirm match card. Boop. Save. Okay, now begins the trouble, because we have to rely on 3 people to show up for work. First, we're going to make a bunch of, do we have scouts? Yeah, we got all our scouts are out. Do I make a bid for somebody? I'm gonna save this and just hire somebody off air in the week in between, just to get to the actual tournament. So let's save that again, just because I can't help myself. We've already done all of that. Management, merchandise. There we go. So we got 40,000 people. Let's do 10,000 branded snacks. Let's do 10,000 of these goods. Action figures, we'll do a set of 5. DVDs, we'll do a set of 5. Photos, we'll leave. Towels, we'll do a set of 10. And t-shirts, we'll do a set of 10. See if that goes. There we go. Choices. Okay. I think we're okay expense-wise because we make at least $1 million on our broadcast contract. How much longer? We have 2 more months. The ends at the end of the year. Oh dear, we haven't received any other offers yet either. We got 2 more months on our really lucrative satellite deal where we're getting $1 million a month just to broadcast shows. And so we get we get $1,097,000. So that covers most of our expenses. Yeah, we have to cover about $200,000 ourselves, expense-wise. Okay, I think we'll be okay doing that. So merchandise made, that's done. Trying to butter up other people. Sure. I'm just going down the list. I'm not going to be sending them champions of mine, but I will send them other people. Oh yeah, Darby's 1/2 of the tag champs. So 1, 2, 3. Kurt. Kylie. Okay. So, send a bunch of people to the WWE. Let's send a bunch of people to AEW if they want them. How about Ray Phoenix? They don't want Ray Phoenix. Rude. How about Brody Lee? Okay. How about CM Punk? Sure. How about Jeff Jarrett? And Liger. Maybe like one more. Moxley. Go there with Punk. Alright. Send some to AEW. Let's send some people to NXT. So. Nope. I don't want to send any single champions. Anybody with a singles belt. I don't want to send anybody that could potentially lose it on shows that are not mine. Okay, one more to NXT. After Raven. There we go. Now we'll do Ring of Honor. Just trying to butter up all the other American promotions. These are all title holders for me. Shawn's not. Shawn Michaels going to Ring of Honor. Along with Sting. And if they'll have them, the entire Black Moon Fight Club stable. Bison. Luna. Wonderful. And finally, Kevin Blackwood. There we go. Now, Eddie's still a champion for us, so I'm not even going to offer Eddie, and done. So we're just trying to concentrate on... I'm hoping that if we don't book our talent in North American promotions, but then lend them to other North American promotions, I can help keep their popularity in the area up. So even if they're being left off our shows, hopefully they get used somewhere else. Or even the fact that they're in the locker room helps, because it shows that they're in demand, I guess. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of how this thing, like the nuts and bolts of how it works, but that's what I'm going for. Okay, so the big save, and it's time to proceed. Let's see if these All Japan wrestlers will show up for work. Finalize management decisions for the month and proceed to the results. Here we go. See if we can get to the Trios Tournament of Terror with a full tournament. Two out of the three of them canceled. That's strike one, All Japan. That's not too bad. Only 8,000 people, we're only 8,000 under capacity. All that means is Okada's team gets a bye in the first round. We're not going to let it stand, though. We're going to quit. That's strike one. We generally give people 3 strikes. So that was their first chance to show up for work after we paid them to be here. I don't even bother reading the reasons underneath, because I know it's just randomly assigned. If they say travel or family or just sick or whatever. Attempt number 2. Again, 2 out of the 3 canceled. This is not how you build up relations, All Japan. Quit. Here we go again. That time, yeah, it was still about 8,000 people didn't show up, or we're 8,000 under capacity. All right. Here we go. Load data. GWA. Proceed. Again, 2 of them say no. It breaks my heart. I can't do it. I'm going to keep... Okay, I'm going to a maximum of 10 tries. I know. This is hard mode. I said I'd be gaming it and giving up at 3. But I do not want I don't want a vacancy in the Trios Tournament of Terror. One of our signature events. Come on, guys, please show up for work. Only 1 that time. We're getting better. It still completely negates their entry in the tournament because we can't book a replacement. But only 1 person of the 3 that time said nah. Why agree to the booking fee in the first place? So rude. Okay, this is going to be number 5. You're kidding. Okay. It only took a couple extra tries. That's not too bad. I don't feel too bad about that. I would have kept going until the 10th try. And if I would have let the 10th try lay. For sure. But we got it in 5, so that's not terrible.
Ooh, woo!
Hey, what's going on? Ooh, woo, nice to see ya. I don't even have to look down, even though I did. I don't have to look down to know it's you. Thanks for announcing yourself as always. You are just in time for the first match in this year's Trios Tournament of Terror. It is a landmine death matches, as you can see. Landmine death matches. Bunch of weapons in the ring. The only way for your team to advance is to make somebody else on the opposing team say, I quit. It says it's submission only, but we're, headcanoning it. They are Tornado Trios Tag Team I Quit matches. Somebody has to say, I have had enough of the violence. Coming up in our first match, we have the defending Trios champions Kenta Kobashi, Minoru Suzuki, and Yohei trying to climb their way back to the finals. In their way in the first round is the House of Misery, represented by Taz, Mike Awesome, and Hayabusa. That's right. Somebody gonna die before this thing's all said and done. I am amazed that we do not leave, and I perhaps jinxed it, let me knock on wood, that we don't leave the annual Trios Tournament of Terror. I don't think we've ever had an injury in the tournament. So fingers crossed that streak continues as we are about to begin the 5th Trios Tournament of Terror. Hoo-yah! As you can see, various weapons strewn about the ring, barbed wire surrounding, both in the corners and on those explosive wooden boards outside the ring. That's right, anyone unfortunate enough to be thrown over the top to the floor, those barbed wire boards will explode and you must crawl back into the ring. The only place a submission or an I quit in this case will be rendered. Let's see Yohei tasting the barbed wire in the corner for the time being. I'll do my best to call as much of the action as I can, but this thing is going to be wild and woolly all the way through the tournament. Hayabusa about to eat a double suplex from Kenta Kobashi and Yohei. Kenta Kobashi coming off that banger of a championship contest just 1 month ago. Had this entry in the Trios Tournament of Terror in his back pocket. We are also going to see the world champion participating in the Trios Tournament of Terror for what I believe is the first time. The active world champion captaining a team as he leads his Squared Circle K stable against a trio from All Japan. We'll see them later in the first round. As this first round matchup pits our defending champions Suzuki, Kobashi, and Yohei up against the House of Misery trio of Mike Awesome, Taz, and Hayabusa. Hayabusa in the pink mask and long pants. Mike Awesome, the largest gentleman in the ring, with the eye makeup and jeans, and their partner Taz helping to double suplex Yohei there in the black and orange singlet. As I see somebody's been busted open, and there it is, Yohei has been busted wide open, the first casualty of all the weaponry in and outside of the ring. As we see Kenta Kobashi, the first to apply a submission attempt 5-minute mark, but Mike Awesome easily able to escape. It is absolutely a test of endurance for whichever team survives these rounds. You must win 3 of these matches in one night to claim the Trios Championship, to claim the $666,000 in prize money that you are free to distribute evenly amongst your team, or however you like amongst your team. And coming with both of those honors, the third and most important to many, guaranteed championship opportunities for all 3 members of the winning Trios combination sometime in the next calendar year at GWA events. It was Minoru Suzuki cashing in his chance at the world's title last year, resulting in a championship reign of his. That was ended by current champion Kazuchika Okada. Yohei cashed in his opportunity and became the Legends Junior champion, I believe. At least momentarily. Or no, he failed, but he at least tried. He at least tried! Raven's House of Misery yet to win one of these tournaments. In fact, the highest winning percentage belonging to any group and or stable is definitely the Squared Circle K, combinations of which have won this tournament 2 out of the 4 existing years in which it's been completed. We'll see how the Squared Circle K does in year 5. They almost got a first round bye, but the All Japan contingent eventually decided to show up for work. So we have a full 8-team tournament headed your way. As we approach the 10-minute mark in this opening contest, I can see 2 of the 3 members of the defending squad have been busted open, but I just saw a burning hammer to Hayabusa that sent him to the floor and it exploded in his face. Hayabusa now also busted open. The most recent Legends Junior champion just lost his belt to Hiromu Takahashi, did Hayabusa. Which speaks to the caliber of athlete that signs up for the Trios Tournament of Terror despite the obvious risks. Mike Awesome, the purveyor of a number of variations of what he calls awesome bombs, power bombs to you and me, as well as the human suplex machine Taz, renaming all of his suplexes Tazplexes, has more than a handful of ways that he likes to throw you around the ring. Oh, big extra hard spine buster there by Mike Awesome to Kenta Kobashi. And now a roll through. The only thing that can save you is a rope break, and Minoru Suzuki was saved there as he was experiencing a front neck lock inside, or with his face firmly in the barbed wire board in the corner. See him trying to take out his frustrations there on Hayabusa, just wailing on him. Oh, flipped over. Going for a choke was Suzuki, but couldn't land it. Meanwhile, Kobashi's got a cloverleaf on Awesome. Awesome able to break free. Oh, back out to the floor goes Hayabusa. Just a neck crank by Suzuki trying to end this thing. It is I Quit rules. First person to submit, your team is eliminated. The winning team moves on to do it all over again against whomever survives the rest of the first round. Uranagi there by Hayabusa. You can see the toll it's taking on Minoru Suzuki in the top corner there. Gasping for breath at only the 15-minute mark. A matchup like this, a tournament like this, can take years off of your career, but can drastically improve the fortunes of your career with that guaranteed title opportunity, as Mike Awesome and Hayabusa once again taste the explosive barbed wire on the floor. Awesome now busted open. So 4 out of the 6 combatants now bleeding profusely in the ring. Don't worry, the canvas will absorb the blood and make the fight stronger as you see Hayabusa once again rolling into that neck lock. But the ropes once again saving his opponent. Neck cranked by Suzuki, and that will do it. Defending champions moving on as Suzuki tried to pull the head off of Hayabusa. House of Misery eliminated in the first round. Okay. Sure. Just 1 second. I'm setting up the rest of my tournament board here. Plus, you get to hear this fun, weird song. Okay, so Kobashi. Suzuki. Defending champs, moving on to the semifinals. Suzuki, Yohei, and Kobashi. We're going to patch them up, and they will sit and await the rest of the first round. Champion's advantage, getting to go first in the first round. As they move on, and the House of Misery are eliminated. Coming up in our second first round matchup, we have Britt Baker, Serena Deeb, and Emi Sakura, 3 women representing the junior heavyweight division here of the GWA, taking on, from the Heat business, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Lashley, and William Regal. Now, I don't need to tell you that with a team like Lashley, O'Reilly, and Regal and a rule set that says I quit, I would say that this heavily favors the Heat business, but we'll see what the trio of junior heavyweight female competitors can do. Ciao. Same rules apply. Weapons everywhere. Make someone quit. And we are underway. Emi Sakura in the purple. Britt Baker in the white. Serena Deeb in the black. Up against Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Lashley, and William Regal, all clad in black, white, and gold. And Bobby Lashley tastes the barbed wire and is busted open immediately. That could change the fortunes of these 3 ladies significantly. Oh, and into the explosives as well. Not a great start for Bobby Lashley here. Bleeding profusely in the opening moments. Oh, now Serena Deeb also hits the explosives, and she's busted open in the early going. A lot of submission mastery on display here out of the likes of a Serena Deeb or a William Regal or a Kyle O'Reilly. Britt Baker also uses a submission maneuver as her main finisher, that lockjaw, and so does Bobby Lashley with his hurt lock. So in thinking of it, perhaps more evenly matched than I originally surmised here. I don't quite know the submission capabilities of an Emi Sakura, however. I can say she is a tough, spirited, and dedicated performer. World traveled, to say the least, is Emi Sakura. Sometimes wrestling in Japan and then in North America in the same week. As Kyle O'Reilly tried to take over on Serena Deeb, just laying those knees into the midsection, and in a no disqualification match, that's as good as a submission here. Just wailing on your opponent until you crack a rib and they can take no more. Triple beatdown on Kyle O'Reilly. Nice teamwork there out of the trio of females from the junior division. Sakura rolling through into that front neck lock. So now we see a bit of submission work out of Sakura as well. And an angel swings to Bobby Lashley, who has yet to get out of the starter gate here. In this matchup, taking a heck of a lot of punishment, is the Almighty One. Rather surprising, but perhaps a targeted attack. This trio of junior heavyweights. I don't think Bobby Lashley was expecting to get busted open in the first minute here. Hang on. Oh, and he's right back into things with a huge dominator to Britt Baker. Bobby Lashley trying to follow it up with an attack with a steel chair, but Baker able to evade as best she can. Oh, gets dropped on the chair, however. Meanwhile, other side of the ring. Double suplex coming up to Serena Deeb, and she spills out to the floor. Also busted open has been Deeb and Regal. Sakura and Kyle O'Reilly are okay in that regard. Certainly All 6 competitors in this matchup can be feeling a little rough tomorrow morning, regardless of how far they go in the Trios Tournament of Terror. First person to submit loses the matchup for your team, and the winning team goes on as Sakura into a tequila sunrise, center of the ring on Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle able to escape. So, excellent submission work out of all 6 competitors here. Now that we've come to see them in action. Britt Baker saving Sakura from the submission attempt there. Gets a fluorescent light tube across the back of the head for her troubles. And a Boston Crab by Sakura gets broken up immediately. Nice pin attempt, but pins don't count, Serena. Bobby Lashley, after a slow start here, the opening 10 minutes not too kind to Bobby Lashley, has been slowly getting his bearings about him, able to hit a couple power moves here and there, helping his team out as best he can. Oh, knee tremble from William Regal into the Armageddon from Kyle O'Reilly, center of the ring. Deeb could tap here, but no. Deeb able to evade, and Emi Sakura hits the floor and doesn't suffer an explosion. Somehow manages to exit the ring and avoid the explosive barbed wire boards. Does not avoid that exploder under the chair, however. A lot of weaponry available inside the ring. None more deadly than the human body itself, as these pro wrestlers are proving. Another pin attempt by Deeb, that's no good. Continue to fight on here. Ladies trying to press their advantage, doing pretty well against the Heat business. That's to say nothing against them due to gender, just the fact that they've not teamed together prior to being here in the Trios Tournament of Terror. Whereas the Heat business is an established stable here in the promotion. These 3 women representing a, not a change in policy, but a sort of an evolution of the junior heavyweight roster here in the GWA. We've now hired about, I want to say 8 women total, and the Regal stretch to Britt Baker in the top corner of your ring there. Britt Baker having no choice but to say, I quit. And the Heat business moves on. William Regal tapping out Britt Baker. That's what is known as apparently the England stretch here. So an impressive showing from the ladies, but unfortunately for them, all for naught. As the KOR, William Regal, and Bobby Lashley move on. Okay. Yowza. 1 second. All right. Just setting up a text file, yo. Save that. And then we go into the second half of our first round. Now, this match features the All Japan Trios champions, Kazuchika Okada, Keith Lee, and Chris Statlander. That's right, the Squared Circle K of the GWA. Also featuring Okada, who is our current world champion. Hey, Flowers of Ito, thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're having a great afternoon. They're going to be taking on a All Japan Pro Wrestling trio of Jake Lee, Dylan James, and Rob Van Dam, who in real life is going to be making an appearance for Pro Wrestling Noah at some point in the future. That's pretty fun. Oops, I accidentally closed my GWA text file. Let's get that open again here. Scroll, scroll, scroll. So many years worth of content. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Oh, gee. There we go. We're back to it. And speaking of back to it, let's get down to the ring for the Squared Circle K against the trio from All Japan Pro Wrestling. They don't even work here. Oops. Save. Sure. So what happens if Jake Lee, Dylan James, there we go, and Rob Van Dam win the Trios Tournament of Terror? They will get title shots at the major GWA champions. Wait, I think I got this wrong. It's supposed to be Chris Statlander, not Kyrie Sane. Oh well. See Kazuchika Okada, the world champ, Keith Lee, and Kyrie Sane, mostly decked out in black, show solidarity for one another. Rob Van Dam early into the explosives on the floor, and he is busted wide open in a bad way. We saw Bobby Lashley weather that storm in our previous matchup. His team still came out on top. See how Rob Van Dam responds. See if the All Japan trio can still advance here. Kairi Sane, the MVP of the previous previous year's trios, or they're the last successful trios tournament champions for the Squared Circle K, let's call it. Winners of, I think, years 1 and 3, every other year it seems so far, do the Squared Circle K win this championship. So, going by that theory, given that this is the 5th one, they are due for another reign on top. Statistically speaking, of course, the numbers don't lie. But in order to get there, first and foremost, they must defeat this All Japan trio that has come in to stop the All Japan Trios champions. Mind you, only represented by 2 of the 3 champions currently. From winning another trios title, coming to throw a monkey wrench into the plans of the Squared Circle K, and especially into the GWA in total. Can you imagine what would happen if this trio from All Japan Pro Wrestling, which not only win the tournament, but be successful in their 3 championship opportunities for GWA Gold? The entire landscape of this promotion could change if our major titles are in the hands of wrestlers outside of our promotion. A situation that several other promotions have found themselves in over the course of the wrestling years here. We've been doing our best to correct those errors across the wrestling landscape and get people their belts back. But I mean, we're gonna try to turn a profit while we do it and put the shows in the GWA ring, put those matches in front of our crowd. Gonna be honest about that too, but we're trying to get all the belts back to where they belong. And James there. Going to work on all 3 members. Impressive showing here from James despite being busted open. Jake Lee against Okada. That would be an interesting singles matchup. Jake Lee just went to the finals of this year's championship carnival. Or champion carnival, excuse me. In really real All Japan. As out goes, I believe that's Rob Van Dam once again to the floor. Didn't hit the explosives this time though. Lucky for him, he's already suffered that a few times. As the violence continues to escalate here in the Trios Tournament of Terror. We've got one more first round matchup headed your way following this contest. Followed by, of course, the semifinals and finals. An intense one-night tournament. 8 teams begin the night. Only one will be left standing. Kairi Sane looking to bring the Squared Circle K back to the championship for an unprecedented 3rd time. The stable that has come to dominate most outings of the Trios Tournament of Champions to date. As you see Kairi Sane send it into the barbed wire far side of the ring. Oh, Kairi Sane got that submission on Jake Lee. Rob Van Dam there to break it up just in the nick of time. Jake Lee unable to run any defense there, was just catching his breath. Kairi, as we said, the MVP of most of the tournaments in which she's involved. Certainly those with the submission stipulation. Huge spirit bomb there to Jake Lee, but unfortunately no pinfalls in this matchup. That's going to do a lot of damage to the back, however. Rob Van Dam unable to execute the 5-star frog splash at all in this tournament. So his most potent offensive weapon nullified by the barbed wire boards leaning in the corner of, or each corner of the ring here, as they will all night. This thing headed toward the 15-minute mark here. All 6 athletes looking real worn down, if I'm to be honest. I feel like the next major submission attempt might be the difference maker here. Let's see who slaps something on first, who's able to grab a hold. Big Dr. Bomb by Jake Lee to the GWA World Champion Kazuchika Okada. This is the first time, as far as I'm aware, that the reigning World Champion is part of one of the teams in the Trios Tournament of Terror. I don't know what precedent that sets. Should the Squared Circle K win the tournament, what belt would Okada challenge for at that point? Perhaps an attempt to unify the GWA World and Hall of Fame belts. But that's merely speculation on my part. The team has to get through 3 matches in order to make even speculation a virtual reality. So you see a Rainmaker there to Jake Lee. Jake Lee now getting choked out by Kairi Sane. No one there to run defense. It's all on Jake Lee to break the hold. And he can't. Kairi Sane chokes out Jake Lee. And the Squared Circle K move on. Once again vying to be MVP of the tournament. That's 1 win for Kairi Sane. All right. Man, I don't know why these are so low. Okada. Lee. Yeah, I even have it written down that it's supposed to be Chris and not Kairi. Sigh. My bad. I was deliberately trying to leave Kairi Sane out of this year's, just in case she just dominated again. Just to try to make it more competitive, but that's up to the rest of the field here to stop her. All right, coming up now, we have the final match of the first round. We're going to see Drew McIntyre team with Kevin Owens and Speedball Mike Bailey to take on the Heartbreakers, represented by Scott Hall, Abyss, and Flamita. Now, to be perfectly honest, nothing leaps to mind in terms of a submission hold when I think of any of these 6 athletes. So let's see what they can come up with to end this matchup. Let's get down to the ring for the final first round contest. Hoya! As always, the creature on feature, the referee on record, Mr. Bigfoot calling for the bell, and we are underway here. We said the relatively makeshift team of Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, and Mike Bailey taking on the Heartbreakers, represented by Abyss in the mask and all-white attire, hooking it up with Kevin Owens. Taking on Scott Hall there, getting double-teamed by McIntyre and Bailey, and Flamita, who just got chopped down by Drew McIntyre in the mask and black and red attire. Scott Hall conveniently wrote his name across his trunks for us. Mike Bailey busted open early in this one after tasting the barbed wire board in the corner. Scott Hall likewise busted open on the other side of the ring for the same reason. Now a double arm submission attempt by Mike Bailey, so at least we know of one submission maneuver in his arsenal. As we see a package pile driver to Abyss, flipped into a brainbuster. Tag team offense out of Owens and McIntyre, shades of Steen Erico. And I just saw a single leg crab from Flamita. Likewise, a nice hammerlock there from Kevin Owens. So a variety of submission maneuvers already on display in the opening 5 minutes here. Looks like both of these teams are going to have options as this match wears on. Especially Flamita here. A lot of crab variations from Flamita. That time in Tequila Sunrise, it looked like. As Scott Hall and Abyss double powerbombing Drew McIntyre. We're going to see another pile driver into a brainbuster to Flamita, meanwhile. And Bailey and Owens. Nice counter there by Speedball to Abyss. Like I said, I'm going to try to follow the action as best I can. There's a lot going on here. Should also be noted that Flamita's top rope moves nullified. The Ultima Weapon from Speedball Mike Bailey not going to be a factor in this tournament as he's unable to climb the top ropes. Also, I have no idea how Speedball Mike Bailey decided to do this tournament barefoot. If I were his opponent, first thing I'm doing is raking his feet across the barbed wire. You can't step anywhere. How are you supposed to fight me? I'd be throwing him feet first into the barbed wire boards in the corner. As Drew McIntyre spills out back first to those boards outside the ring that explode when you hit them. Keeping the action in the ring. Stunner there by Owens to Flamita, I just saw. Scott Hall's patented chokeslam variation there to McIntyre. Flamita foolishly attempting a small package there. Can't turn off certain wrestling instincts, I suppose, even though the rules of the match that you're well aware of beforehand should sort of guide you. Ten minutes plus now. Nice counter by Bailey, but again, these roll-up counters, while impressive, aren't going to save you as Owens gets a shock treatment by Abyss and spills out to the floor, busted wide open now as Kevin Owens, after those explosions, landed face first into them. Went off right in his, on his chest and his face there. You can see he's busted wide open. It looks like only the two masked men have not been lacerated, and that's perhaps due in part to the fact that they are indeed wearing masks. Future Shock DDT to Hall. As we're headed toward the 15-minute mark here. Not a lot of submission attempts out of the opening, or after the first couple of minutes here. A lot of wearing down being done as Abyss is sent to the floor. Able to survive that explosion is the monster Abyss. Sack of crap. Fall away slam by Scott Hall, center of the ring, almost launching Kevin Owens into the barbed wire board in the corner. As now the two knock noggins. Super kick by Bailey to Scott Hall on one side of the ring here. Sends him off the ropes and then abandons him. McIntyre countered, sent to the floor. Oh, face first into those explosions goes the big Scotsman. Owens had a submission attempt on Flamita, broken up by Scott Hall, I believe. Choke slam to Owens now. See the monster Abyss needed to catch his breath in the middle of this one. In a normal contest, these athletes, these finely tuned athletes, can go half an hour easily But in the extreme violence of the Trios Tournament of Terror, it seems that post 15 minutes, all 6 combatants are on the verge of disaster. You see who slips up first, who's able to make their opponent submit, as you see a huge stunner there to Abyss from Kevin Owens. I'll send off the ropes. Again, abandon, just run them. That's one way to wear your opponent down, I suppose. Make him do laps. Oh, inverted Alabama slam to Scott Hall. Brutal. And I think Abyss has finally been busted open. Maybe not. Hard to tell. Yes, now for sure. I can tell that he's busted open. You can see a little bit of blood on his chest, but his mask is hiding most of it. I believe Flamita is the only competitor in this matchup not currently leaking bodily fluids out of their forehead. But we are headed toward the 20-minute mark with no end in sight. The next serious submission attempt should be the difference maker here. To see some more tag team offense out of Bailey and Owens. Package pile driver into that brainbuster. Bailey working on the midsection of Scott Hall. Poison Rana to the bad guy. Setting him up center of the ring. We're just waiting for a submission attempt of any kind out of these gentlemen. Roll through into a pin attempt. Fall away slam, sending Bailey to the floor, but threw him over the explosives. Too much gusto there from Scott Hall, inadvertently lessening the impact of Mike Bailey. Mind you, he still did get fall away slammed over the top rope to the floor, but over the explosives, so they did not blow up in his face. I believe that's called the take it home driver, or the bring it home driver from Kevin Owens there. Now Speedball Mike Bailey with a steel chair, venting his frustrations as we head toward 25 minutes in your final first round matchup. Submission only. A trios I Quit match in this cage of weapons. I mean, it's just a ring of weapons. We could literally do a cage if we really wanted. Maybe next year. Future Shock DDT, but there are no pins. You can now lock on a submission onto Abyss. Perhaps you'll get him to tap, but all impact from most of these athletes. Once again, the bring it home driver from Owens. Abyss trying to deal with Mike Bailey and Drew McIntyre on the other side of the ring. Owens trying to deal with Scott Hall and Flamita. Just scanning as best I can to see if anybody is going to think to try a submission attempt here, as we are creeping up on 30 minutes in this contest. A reminder that no matter who wins this, there's still at minimum 2 more matches, and that is it! Abyss grabbing Speedball Mike Bailey in that bear hug. And the makeshift team of Owens, McIntyre, and Bailey fall to the Heartbreakers. Abyss, Flamita, and Scott Hall moving on in the best match of the first round. Abyss, Flamita. All right, it is semifinal time. Sorry, just again, adjusting my text file, so I'm ready for the semifinals. I hope you're ready for the semifinals, because they're starting immediately. As Kenta Kobashi, Minoru Suzuki, and Yohei, the defending champions, are headed into combat against Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Lashley, and William Regal of the Heat Business. Save this one more time and start our first of two semifinal contests in the Trios Tournament of Terror. Down to the ring we go. A fifth time in this tournament. We've cleaned up the mat. We've patched up the wrestlers. Mr. Bigfoot calls for the bell, and we are once again underway. Same rules still apply. The only thing that changes is the variety of weaponry inside the ring. As the first person to submit their opponent wins the match for their team, and they move on to the finals. And once again in the opening minute, Bobby Lashley, busted wide open, has spent most of this tournament bleeding profusely, has the Almighty One.
Give up. Give up.
Blood will definitely be spilt this day. As you can see Kyle O'Reilly grabbing a limb of Minoru Suzuki. Both of these teams, well versed in submissions. The edge might be on the Heat Business's side, however. I don't know how well versed Yohei is in submissions. Kobashi, more of a power impact wrestler himself. Minoru Suzuki might be doing the lion's share. Oh, and as I say that, we see a nice face lock out of Kenta Kobashi there to Bobby Lashley, trying to take advantage of the fact that he's bleeding and has been doing so since the opening minute. There are rope breaks. The only thing that can save you is being too close to the ropes. You must submit your opponent's center of the ring, let's call it. A single elimination. Unfortunately, we can't do elimination tag matches involving any sort of weaponry or hardcore elements, as much as I would enjoy that. I guess it makes sense. Like, you can't technically really leave the ring, so they couldn't like be eliminated from the match and then go stand outside by the apron, because technically they'd be standing in barbed wire that should be exploding at them. Kyle O'Reilly loves this rule sets, because those strikes normally would be disqualification, those open shots to the back of your opponent's unprotected head. But in a match like this where there are no DQs, that becomes another opportunity to get your opponent to quit, or to have the referee stop the match if you can no longer defend yourself. Kyle O'Reilly looking to cement his place. He is the newest member of the Heat Business, replacing the departed Buddy Matthews. I don't mean departed in that they're no longer with us. I just mean they're no longer employed by the GWA. But William Regal recruiting Kyle O'Reilly to take his place. In my opinion, something of an upgrade, especially as far as the Heat Business is concerned. In-ring skill-wise. A lot of flash to Buddy Matthews, but not a lot of like emotional resonance. Whereas you can get behind a lot of what Kyle O'Reilly does in the ring, because it's the real solid foundational base in grappling and MMA and striking and such. Oh, Kyle sent all the way across the ring by Yohei, who now had a key lock there briefly on William Regal. I don't know who taught him that. Perhaps Suzuki was showing him a few pointers before the tournament started. I kid, but this trio of Yohei, Minoru Suzuki, and Kenta Kobashi went all the way through and won the thing last year. The only way to guarantee a spot in the tournament is to win the previous one. They also had a hand in choosing the rule set. I believe it was Minoru Suzuki who insisted on submissions only. It might have been Kenta Kobashi who put us in the barbed wire wrapped ring, or that may have been Yohei's idea. But whomever had the idea for the barbed wire ring, it was the other gentleman that decided to fill it with weapons. Oh no! Yohei sent across the ring, colliding with Mr. Bigfoot. Our head referee is down. Now we will be patching them up in between matches, don't worry. This might affect how quick they are to get in position to call for a submission attempt. We take the health of our referees very seriously, so we're going to be patching them up alongside the wrestlers that we're going to patch up at the conclusion of this contest. Roll through into the knee bar on Regal. Kyle O'Reilly saving the matchup for the Heat business there. Nicely played by Suzuki, but an excellent defensive maneuver by Kyle O'Reilly to keep this matchup going. Yohei with a pin attempt. You'd think, having won one of these tournaments and having survived the first round, he'd know that pins do not count. Oh, high-low, total elimination to Suzuki by O'Reilly and Lashley. Now Yohei sent to the floor by Regal. Kyle O'Reilly wailing on the back of the head of Kobashi. Meanwhile, an armbar attempt by Suzuki thwarted by the ring ropes. Suplexes abound, and Suzuki just hit a dominator on Bobby Lashley. Roll through into the choke. Too close to the ropes. Suzuki now wisely dragging Bobby away from the ring. Lashley able to kick off another submission attempt. And now, flip out. Thought he was thinking dominator on Kobashi. Sort of flip out. Knee trumpeter to Yohei. Double powerbomb to Yohei. Suzuki able to fend off the Heat business. Tackles Lashley to the floor. Just wailing away on him, center of the ring. O'Reilly with a stiff kick breaking that up. That could have spelled disaster had Lashley had enough. And now an armbar by Suzuki. Looking to go back to the finals for 2 years in a row. No! Regal just able to escape. Gotch-style pile driver to Regal. Oh, Kyle O'Reilly sent it to the explosives on the floor. He is busted wide open and bleeding like a stuck pig. Look at that. His face and chest completely covered. The only two wrestlers not bleeding look to be William Regal and Minoru Suzuki at this point. Oh, half and half to O'Reilly. Headed toward 20 minutes gone on this one. Big brainbuster to Kyle there. Camel clutch by Suzuki! Lashley's in trouble! No one's playing D's on his own! Somehow manages to escape. Amazing resilience there from almighty Bobby Lashley, who, a reminder, has been bleeding for about 20 minutes now, for almost the entirety of this matchup. Able to survive that torturous camel clutch, but now he's got a leg bar! Knee bar, got that ankle cranked as well. Once again, Lashley fights free. Suzuki trying to finish Lashley off. Lashley looking for a different dance partner. As you see him now paired up with Yohei. William Regal sliding over to challenge Minoru Suzuki instead. That's a better matchup for the Heat business. As Bobby Lashley's in a big bad way at the moment. Oh, but he's got the hurt lock on Yohei. Broken up immediately by Kobashi. Oh, and Kobashi then tastes the explosives. Sent out to the floor. Is the former world champion. Armbar. Had Regal in a big bad way, did Suzuki, but O'Reilly saves him. And he chokes out Yohei. Just as Bobby Lashley suffers a burning hammer and spills out to the floor, Kyle O'Reilly choking out Yohei. We will not have repeat champions. The Heat business headed to the finals. All right, then. far. Okay, there we go. Your finalists, the Heat Business. We'll find out who they face next as the Squared Circle K, represented once again by Kazuchika Okada, Keith Lee, and Kairi Sane, no strangers to success in the Trios Tournament of Terror, are going to be taking on the Heartbreakers, represented by Hall, Abyss, and Flamita. The bad guy, Scott Hall, leading the Heartbreakers in the battle against the Squared Circle K, coming up now. As always, the creature on feature, Mr. Bigfoot, as you can see, freshly patched up, calls for the bell, and we are underway in your second of two semifinals. I feel like the Heartbreakers are going to focus their attention on Kairi Sane. As you can see, Abyss and Scott Hall trying to overwhelm the diminutive wrestler. She, the MVP of these tournaments as far as the Squared Circle K is concerned. As I can see, Flamita sent out to the floor and manages to avoid the explosives. Amazingly done. Obviously, immediately following this second semifinal contest, we're going to be bringing you the finals, where we're going to crown the winners of the Trios Tournament of Terror. They're going to win the Trios titles. They're going to be able to split 666,000 fake dollars. And they're going to receive individual title matches of their choosing to any eligible GWA championship over the next calendar year in this wrestling universe. So a lot of the early contenders for the spring and summer shows determined by the previous October's Trios Tournament of Terror lineup. So the Heat Business in the finals for what I believe is the first time. Certainly Kyle O'Reilly's first appearance in the tournament final. And they're going to be taking on the winner of this one, Squared Circle K, including the current GWA World Champion Kazuchika Okada. In there with partners Keith Lee and Kairi Sane, former winners of this tournament. In the semifinals once more, looking to land themselves in the final. To do so, they've got to get past Abyss, Scott Hall, and Flamita of Shawn Michaels' Heartbreakers stable. See Kairi Sane trying to wear out Scott Hall. I would say the targeted member. Oh, hang on. Nice abdominal stretch from Scott Hall to Kairi Sane. I was going to say the targeted member on the Squared Circles K side of things is going to be Kairi Sane. She's the one that most often earns the submissions for her squad. And perhaps Flamita, being the smallest member of the Heartbreakers contingent, might be the focus of the Squared Circle K, as he's just suffered 3 Rainmakers in a row. Okada chaining together 3 Rainmakers in succession there against Flamita, as I described how Flamita might be targeted by the Squared Circle K. And too close to the ropes there, that hammerlock submission attempt by Okada. The only thing that can save you in this matchup, rope breaks are still on. If you're able to grab the rope, the referee will call for the break. Other than that, you have to get out of the submission on your own or have someone on your team break the submission attempt. Beyond that, make your opponent quit. Cause them so much pain they can take no more, and send your team to the finals with the opportunity to be crowned Trios champions, to split that novelty check, and to perhaps earn further gold in the coming calendar year here in the GWA. Famously, Kazuchika Okada lost both of his world title opportunities that he earned from the Trios Tournament of Terror. It wasn't until reigning champion Minoru Suzuki, who successfully cashed in his title opportunity thanks to the tournament, called out Okada for the world title, claiming he was an unworthy successor to Keiji Muto in taking over the Squared Circle K stable. And wouldn't you know it, Kazuchika Okada in a performance of a lifetime, winning the world title from Suzuki, and is currently your reigning world champion. As we see once again, Mr. Bigfoot knocked down, but none the worse for wear. Kairi Sane seems to have been busted open. I don't know any other current member of this matchup that is suffering from a laceration that I can tell. Perhaps Abyss is, but it's hard to tell with all that gear on. Kairi Sane for sure. Seems to be the only member of the match so far. Oh, and what impressive strength from Sane, getting Abyss over for that Alabama slam. That's not unrealistic at all. Nice counter by Sane. Hall was thinking Razor's Edge. Where he lives his life. Big Spirit Bomb upcoming to Flamita, but pinfalls do not count. Though that will take the wind out of you. That'll take the wind out of your sails. Oh, big choke slam on Kairi Sane. Trying to keep Abyss at bay. Oh, Abyss able to throw Kairi into the explosive now. If she wasn't busted open before, she certainly is now. Another big Spirit Bomb by Lee, this time to Scott Hall. Turning belly to Flamita as well. Outsider Edge coming up. Okada's just going to watch his teammate suffer that move. As we saw, Kairi Sane was going for the Croston Crab. Flamita able to avoid it. And now Abyss going back to work on Kairi Sane with a kendo stick. I believe the strategy is to concentrate your efforts on stopping Kairi Sane, the MVP of these tournaments as far as the Squared Circle K goes. Fall away slam sending Okada to the floor, but once again Hall throws his opponent over the explosives. So not maximizing the impact there against Kazuchika Okada. Oh, he gets turned inside out by that Scott Hall clothesline. Perhaps an abdominal stretch from the bad guy. Could settle this matchup as we approach the 20-minute mark here. Hang on, big tombstone to Scott Hall. Rainmaker by Okada. Oh, meanwhile, Flamita gets sent out to the explosives on the floor, and he is busted wide open. Backhanded by Kairi Sane, back-fisted in fact. Sane and Flamita down, center of the ring, Flamita off the ropes. Unfortunately ran into Okada on his way back across. This matchup will continue until someone on one of these teams has had enough and says, I quit. No disqualifications. Submission the only way to win. Rope breaks are in play, so you have that additional opportunity to save yourself or have your partners help you out. Or break the hold yourself by hitting the ropes. As we pass 20 minutes now. Cross and crab from Kairi Sane. Meanwhile, the cravat to Abyss in the center of the ring. That will do it. Kairi Sane tapping out Scott Hall, and Kairi Sane once again sends the Squared Circle K to the finals. The most successful stable in the history of this tournament has another chance to reign supreme. As Kairi Sane sends her crew through to the finals for the third time in 5 years. Cannot argue the success of the Squared Circle K in the Trios Tournament of Terror. We'll see if their control of the tournament is complete And if they can knock off Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Lashley, and William Regal in your tournament final right now. As I glance and see that Space Cat is destroying the room around him. Look at all this kendo sticks. This is it, your tournament fighter, or tournament final. It's not TMNT Tournament Fighter. We've cleaned up the ring, we've patched up the wrestlers and the referee. They're getting ready to get busted wide open all over again. In this, the final match of the evening, of the afternoon, I should say. Winner to receive the championship belts and be Trios champions. You get that $666,000 check that they can split. I mean, obviously, you can go 222 3 times. And the opportunity at whatever title belt they so choose in the next calendar year in a GWA ring. Can Kairi Sane once again lead her team to victory here against a very proficient submission squad in Bobby Lashley, William Regal, and Kyle O'Reilly? Perhaps no better trio has had the best chance to knock off the Squared Circle K has had no better chance than the Heat Business does this year with this lineup. Sane and O'Reilly going toe-to-toe under the watchful eye of Bobby Lashley, looking to get him some of Kairi Sane as well. Short arm clothesline into the leg bar there by Kyle O'Reilly. Meanwhile, a cravat to William Regal that he fights free of. Submissions are going to be a serious threat from the jump in this final, as both of these squads have already survived 2 grueling matchups to find themselves here in the most intense one-night tournament in pro wrestling. The one night a year that the GWA throws most of the rules and caution to the wind. The Trios Tournament of Terror, the high-risk, high-reward tournament held every October here in the GWA. We couldn't be happier to have you strolling down the gnarly wrestling aisle for the tournament final here this afternoon. As Bobby Lashley there had a leg bar on Kairi Sane's center of the ring, but the referee was distracted by breaking up the submission attempt by Kyle O'Reilly. Hang on, crossed and crab to Kyle O'Reilly, center of the ring. Okada running defense, but Regal and Lashley occupied with Keith Lee. Thankfully for them, Kyle O'Reilly able to break it on his own. Got to keep a watchful eye on Kairi Sane at all times in a matchup like this. Has 6 to 8 submission moves in her arsenal. Not shy about using any of them. Oh, as Okada is the first to be exploded in the final, the GWA World Champion busted wide open. Once again sent to the floor. This time doesn't avoid the explosives. I thought he may have been catapulted over it, but no. Face first in the explosives. Once again goes Kazuchika Okada. World champ in a heap of trouble here, and William Regal knows it. Oh, nicely done! Got the arm trapped in that face locked as Regal, but Okada able to break free. Regal trying to strike while the iron is hot and the blood is fresh on the face and chest of Kazuchika Okada. So you can hear the announcement that we passed the 10-minute mark. Okada spiked with the brainbuster. I thought he might have been sent to the floor once again, but the brainbuster might have been worse than the GWA World Champion. Looking to survive long enough to see his team once again be crowned Trios champions. What a year for Kazuchika Okada and the Squared Circle K, should that come to fruition. Would absolutely cement himself as equal to or greater than the previous leader of the stable, Keiji Muto. Standing in their way, the Heat Business. William Regal, Bobby Lashley, Kyle O'Reilly, all three gentlemen. Incredibly well-versed in combat and more than willing to do whatever it takes to see their team win the Trios Championships instead of the Squared Circle K. Back and forth, these two factions go in your main event. Trios champions on the line. Title opportunities in the future on the line, and a tombstone reversal by Regal into the hurt lock by Bobby Lashley. He's got it on Kairi Sane. Oh, Sane able to escape. Big standing spear by Kairi Sane. Huge belly-to-belly by Keith Lee, trying to toss Kyle O'Reilly out of the ring. Didn't quite get there, but certainly threw him into the lion's den, right into the fracas. And now it's Keith Lee's turn, gets double suplex into the barbed wire board in the corner. Front flip neckbreaker by Kairi Sane. Elbow off the ropes. Snap suplex. Going to work on Bobby Lashley. Now turns her attention to William Regal. Flurry of offense from Kairi Sane. Into the crossed crab on Kyle O'Reilly! And she's done it! She's done it! The Squared Circle K continue to be the most dominant force in Trios Tournament of Terror history! As Kairi Sane brings the championships home once again! There we go, your winners, and once again, Trios champions. Your world champion, Kazuchika Okada, Keith Lee, and Kairi Sane. Yowza. Let me scroll down here. This is the third victory in the tournament for Kazuchika Okada and Keith Lee, and the second for Kairi Sane. The most dominant stable in the history of this tournament. Hang on, I'm sorry. As always, I'm updating my text file. One-time champion. I'm putting in the previous champion, who were Yohei, Kobashi, and Suzuki, themselves one-time champions. That's crazy. Had William Regal been part of the winning team, that would have been his second Trios Championship. But the dominant honor once again goes to Kazuchika Okada, already the current world champion. Keith Lee with, again, his third win. And Kairi Sane with her second. And again, probably second MVP honors in a row, since she's the one that ended all three matchups. Overall, a rating of 79%, so the audience is gonna not quite love it, but we did better than 70, so we keep our broadcasting contract for the rest of the year, and we'll worry about the rest of the year next week. Here we go. There are new champions. So Okada, Keith Lee, and Kairi Sane have title fights coming their way. In front of 45,000, give or take. See, fans weren't satisfied. I'm worried about the next event. Means that I got under 80. Just under 80. So, not terrible still. Oh. We got new NXT Tag Team Champions. We have Karisto as the new CMLL champion. Congrats. We have new Ring of Honor Junior Champions. Hopefully that wasn't Kevin Blackwood. That was probably Kevin Blackwood. We made $2 million. CMLL's doing attorney. Boy, oh boy. And in the month of November... Hang on. Big Japan already employed Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Did they hire the other Hulk Hogan? Ben Williams in Europe. Kalisto in Latin America. Let me take a look at this promotions real quick. Where's it under? Human resources. No. Records and help. Wrestler stats. There we go. Let me just pop on down to Big Japan Pro Wrestling. They have both Hulk Hogan's. That's amazing. So the only person that they feel worthy to come into Big Japan to take down Hollywood Hogan is Hulk Hogan. That's amazing. Okay. I'm just going to save. Let's do our records and stuff. Our personal advice. Let's take a look at these. Bobby Lashley wants more money. All right, let's do these raises. First off, Kyle needs one. Kyle, come here, buddy. Yeah, we're going to get you over $5,000. There. There you go. Now, you needed one. Bobby wanted more money. Bobby making the most money of everybody in the promotion. $30,000 a month for Bobby Lashley. Yowza. Okay. Let's do some more, not consultations yet. Let's do some more personal advice. That's it? Okay. We're doing okay. Wah! Alright, training center maintenance. What an eventful trios tournament of terror. I'm gonna have to think on this for a week and see what's Okada to do? He's already the world champ. He has the highest belt in the land. I don't know what's up his sleeve. And you can't, unfortunately, put multiple belts on the line in the same match. I wish I could, because then I would have created a GWA Triple Crown by now. So that's all good. Let's take a look at. We sent a bunch of people to again the other handful of North American promotions. Like, let's check out what WWE did with the people that we sent them, for example. Let's see. I'm not seeing any of them so far. Perhaps if they were teaming with Xavier Woods or Jackson Riker in the opening contest. There we go. AJ Styles losing to Kylie Ray. Kylie Ray works for us. And so far, nothing. Nope. Nope, that's not us either. All right, so they used at least one person, or just one person. And then AEW. How did they do with the handful of people we sent them? Sadie Gibbs versus John Moxley, and John Moxley mopped the floor with them. I think that's it. Unless, again, that they were part of these teams. I don't know who that Lee is, so that might be like Lee Moriarty. NXT, how'd you guys do? I don't think I sent anybody here. Maybe. If I did, they didn't use them. Meanwhile, in Ring of Honor, Luna and Shawn Michaels taking on Woods and Leon. Josh Woods and Leon St. Giovanni, perhaps. So that's us. PCO against Sting, that's us. Bison Smith, Dan Maff. There we go. Shane Taylor, Brody King. That'd be a heck of a good match. So, Flip Gordon and Vincent Worthy Jr. Tag Team Champions. I believe that's going to be Ray Horace, and that's got to be Kevin Blackwood. Hang on one second. Okay, so Kevin Blackwood. Man, we have a lot of one half ROH Jr. Tag with Ray Horace. We have a lot of wayward champions, and a lot of them are in my promotion. We have 2 trios titles that don't belong to us that are hanging around. We have 2 tag belts that don't belong to us that are hanging around. We have 4 singles titles that don't belong to us that are hanging around at the moment. We will try to deal with all of that in our next 2 shows, as we have to book the November and December Year 8 shows next week. Typically, we go out with a 10-match supercard in month 12, so we have a big end of the year show, so we're going to be putting as many titles on the line as we can in that one, so we'll have lots of opportunities to get people their belts back, that's for sure. All right, back up here, we have addressed everything that need be addressed. Oh, look at that, we're back to an S in America as well. I will do some hiring and probably book the first show over the course of the next week, and then we'll come back and broadcast 2 shows for you in a week's time. Pardon me. I can now hit this fancified button. Hiya! Get myself front and center to thank everyone for watching, no matter where or when you happen to be. Wishing everybody chill vibes and clear skies. And if you happen to find yourself in possession of a plethora of positive energy, please share it if you can spare it. Don't forget about your old pal, the Silent G, Rad Gnarly, saying so long for now. we're going to be back on the air Friday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time to stumble our way through the evolutionary process in Ark Survival Evolved. So until then, TTFN, let's go find ourselves somebody to spread a little love to on our way out of here. There we go. We'll go do that. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully I see you tomorrow night for some Ark. If not, enjoy, rest your day, rest your week, the weekend, the rest of your month, year, life. Enjoy it all. You only get one kick at the can. Might as well make it a good one. Ta-ta for now.